Hi, my name is Cheryl Bradley, and today I'm going to be breaking down the movements of a body weight squat. So one of the reasons that I chose this movement is because it's one of my favorites. It's very simple to do, yet effective. You don't need any equipment. If you choose to make it a little more difficult, you can add free weights as well. So today I'm going to first start by explaining how to do the body weight squat. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you. So let's get started. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate how to do a body weight squat. So you're going to start with your stance in the preparatory phase. You're going to start with your feet a little wider than hip distance apart. Your toes are going to be slightly turned out. And you're going to stand up tall and engage your core muscles as well as your glutes. You're going to retract and depress your shoulder girdle so that your shoulder blades are being pulled towards the center of your back. Your arms are going to be in an extended position down at your sides, and your head is going to be facing straight ahead. Next, you're going to bend your knees and drive your hips back as you sit down into a squatting position. You're going to make an effort to keep your knees externally rotated so they don't collapse inwards here. Make sure you keep your weight on your heels and that your core muscles are being held in tight. As you come down, you're going to flex your arms by bringing them up to your chest, and then focus on keeping your torso upright and engaged. The goal is to reach a 90-degree angle of your knees to the floor. Okay, lastly was going to be the follow through. So you're down in the squatting position. You're going to press your heels into the floor to straighten your legs and then squeeze your glutes to come back up to the starting position. Your shoulders are still going to be in the retracted and depressed position. You're still going to be pulling in your core nice and tight, and then you're going to have your arms just resting back down at your side. So that's how to do a bodyweight squat. Let me go ahead and break it down a little bit further into the different muscles and movements that are happening throughout this exercise. So throughout this movement, both the left side of the body and the right side of the body are doing the same thing. So it's a symmetrical movement. In the preparatory phase as well as the follow-through phase, both of the positions are going to be the same. So in both positions, you're looking like this here. So I'm going to go through and then break down these two movements of the assignment. So the shoulder girdle is going to be in a retract and depressed position. The muscles responsible for the retraction include trapezius, your rhomboids, as well as latissimus dorsi. The depression muscles include pectoralis major, minor, as well as latissimus dorsi. So in these two phases of the exercise, the shoulder joint, the elbow joint, the trunk muscles, the hip joint, and the knee joint are all going to be in the extended position. So the muscles that are responsible for extension of the shoulder joint include latissimus dorsi, the deltoids, teres major, as well as the long triceps. The extension muscles of the elbow include triceps brachii and inconius. So the trunk muscles, when I say core, I'm including both the abdomen as well as your back muscles. The back muscles are going to be more responsible for the extension of your body. So this is going to be that starting position. And the muscles responsible for extension of the trunk include the erector spinae group, which is iliocostalis, longissimus, and spinalis, as well as rotatories, semispinalis, and quadratus lumborum. The hip joint is also going to be in an extended position, but it's also going to be slightly abducted. The muscles responsible for abduction include gluteus medius, gluteus minimus, and tensor fasciae latae. The extension muscles include gluteus maximus and the hamstrings. Okay, so next is your knee joint. The muscles that are responsible for the extension here are the quad muscles, which is rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and then vastus intermedialis. And then we have your glute muscles here. And then lastly, your ankle joint is going to be in the dorsiflex position throughout the entire exercise. And then the muscle responsible for this is tibialis anterior. Okay, so let's move on now to the execution phase of the bodyweight squat. So what it looks like, one more time, looks like this. So in this position, the shoulder girdle is going to be in the retracted depressed state, like I mentioned earlier. Your shoulder joint, your elbow joint, your trunk, your hip joint, and your knee joint are all going to be in the flexed position this time. So the shoulder joint muscles that are responsible for flexion include anterior deltoids, pectoralis major, and coracobrachialis. Muscles responsible for the elbow joint flexion include brachialis, biceps brachii, and brachioradialis. The flexion muscles for the trunk include external and internal obliques, the transverse, and then the rectus abdominis. Your hip joint is also going to be flexed, or in a flexing position. That includes the muscles psoas major, iliacus, adductor longus, adductor brevis, sartorius, and rectus femoris. Your knee joint is also going to be in the flexed position down here, or flexing position. The muscles responsible for that include gracilis, sartorius, gastrocnemius, biceps femoris, semitendinosus, and semimembranosus. And then lastly, your ankles once again are going to be in the dorsiflex position, and the muscle responsible for that is going to be the tibialis anterior. So that was my movement analysis of a bodyweight squat. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe learned something new. Until next time, like and subscribe.